Hi there, this is David, and we just had a massive Sony State of Play detailing about 20 to 25 minutes of Final Fantasy XVI news. We got some behind the scenes stuff, we have all new information about it, and man, does it look absolutely amazing! I'm here to give you my unabashed reactions to it all, and just let you in on everything that they revealed in case you missed it. It started out by kind of revealing some of the main characters, the super hot men, some Moogles, some Chocobos, and going into the history of the series, saying that this is the first time in the Final Fantasy series that they have a true action RPG. And while they've kind of dabbled in that in the past, this really is an action RPG through and through. And it follows Clive through 3 periods of his life, from his teens to his 20s to his 30s. So you get to see him kind of all grow up and everything, which is a really neat thing. I like that. It takes place in the magical world of Valisthea, and you have access to this world map that you can go to at any time you want to with fast travel. So you're never like stuck anywhere. There's various regions to go and explore, and each region has their own characters, their own monsters, their own side quests, their own hidden treasures, things like that, and you can go back to any region that you want to at any time. Each region was absolutely breathtaking. I swear, I think I audibly gasped whenever I saw these regions. They were just so gorgeous. And then the chocobo riding! You can't have Final Fantasy without chocobos, you really can't. It was kind of fluttering through the air, it was super cute. The combat that they showed looks absolutely sweet. It looks really, really cool. Yeah, it is action. Yeah, it's not turn-based, which is, my favorite. But it is what it is, and from what I saw, it looks very, very good. As you progress through the land, you're going to be learning abilities from Eikons, which are essentially your summoned monsters. But in order to gain access to these iconic abilities, you need to defeat the Dominant. So the Dominant is the boss monster who holds the power of the Eikon, or the summon. And then Clive can kind of absorb that power, and then through combat, he can gain AP, which he can use to unlock various abilities. And each icon or summon has its own different abilities. You can go through the ability ring and unlock them on your own if you want to, or you could just let the game do it for you. It really kind of reminded me of the Asterix from the Bravely Default series, so we're getting a little bit of throwbacks here and there. Something that we already knew, but they kind of went into more detail here, is that there are timely rings for kind of an easy mode. There are 5 different rings that you can equip, but you only have 3 accessory slots, as much as I could understand it. So you can't equip all 5 rings, unfortunately, in regular mode. But there is a story mode. So you could do the normal mode or a story mode, and in the story mode, all 5 of those rings will essentially be equipped upon you, making it for a much easier time. Cid is in this game, as is his granddaughter, I hope, Mid. The first time that we saw Mid was in Final Fantasy V, but it was his grandson. Now we're seeing Mid, who kind of looks like Kid from Chrono Cross, but hey, that's just me. Clive is never alone. He does have a party. He does have partners that can join him in combat, but they are all AI driven. You can't issue them any kind of commands or anything else like that, except for his loyal little doggy, who you can command, or he can also utilize the AI as well. Then there's Cid's Hideaway. That's essentially your home base, your base of operations, where you're going to be coming back to buy equipment, buy items, forge weapons, get side quests, talk to people, that sort of stuff. So Cid does play a major role in this game. Like I said, this is a Final Fantasy game. It's just not turn-based, but this is definitely a Final Fantasy game. Also at the Hideaway, there is a board that you can go to, and it's going to have marks. It's going to have posters with different monsters that you're going to have to defeat. Major boss monsters, the various marks, the hunted monsters, just like back in Final Fantasy XII, getting some throwbacks there. And then finally, at the end, they talked about some Eikon versus Eikon battles. This is whenever Clive turns into a summon, and he has to fight other summons as well. And they said that every one of these fights plays differently from one another. One can play as like a shooter, one can play as like a wrestling match, that sort of thing. And honestly, this kind of a little bit bothers me. I'm really going to have to see how it unfolds in the game, but I don't know about y'all, but I don't play anything else besides RPGs. I only play RPGs. So if an RPG is like, oh, we're going to introduce a shooter mode, I audibly groan. I'm like, I haven't played a shooter in my entire life unless you count like Contra on the NES, you know? So I'm just going to have to wait and see attitude on those. They seemed pretty proud of their work with these Eikon battles, but to me, I'm just kind of like, you know how whenever you're playing an RPG and you're going on through and everything's fine, and then you get to like the final boss, and the final boss fights differently than every single other boss in the entire game, and you're like, why do they do this? You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I'm thinking here. Kind of like getting that vibe right there with this. But anyway, the game launches June 22nd worldwide. I am super stoked about this. This to me is actually more Final Fantasy than Final Fantasy 15 was, if you can believe that. This, I think, is going to shape up to be an absolute great game, a gem, the game of this summer season. Let me know what all of y'all thought about this game as well. And if you like this, please be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications as well. And as always, have a good day.